Alright guys, here today we have a 2012 Chevy Equinox. I'm going to talk a little bit about the timing chain issues that these things are notorious for today. But even more specifically, we're going to talk about the chances of having a damaged engine after your timing chain fails or jumps time, or whatever the case that you're dealing with. On this vehicle, the customer assured me that whenever she was starting the vehicle, it just wouldn't start. And she says it wasn't running whenever it quit. It didn't sound any different when it was running. It just wouldn't start one day. And a lot of times we want to believe that, well, if the engine didn't have any momentum whenever it went out, then hopefully it didn't do any damage. If the pistons didn't have any momentum behind them, hopefully everything just came to a halt, and that's that. So with this engine, after the customer assuring me that it just failed on startup and it wouldn't start after that, which we could clearly tell afterward, after she called me out, that there was no compression. I mean, the engine was just whirring over, no compression. But I told her, I said, more than likely, if there was to be a good situation, a situation where you may not have to replace your engine, certainly it would be, if it failed on startup and not going down the highway. But here we are. I've just turned this gear over, so it took the slack. I mean, it jumped a tooth. So, I mean, the plastic, oh, there it is. Yeah, the plastic guide here that's supposed to be on the bottom of this is missing. So this is how much slack is in the timing chain. And then we went and we're kind of hopeful that we would just be able to put it back in time and everything. But in order to check, the best I could for valves without pulling the head off and all that, I was going to, shine a light in the cylinder and see if the pistons looked okay and all that good stuff. Well, while I was tinkering back here, I happened to find all these guys. Broken lifters. Every single one of them on the intake side is snapped in half. So, as much as we like to be positive and hope that if your failure happened on startup, maybe you won't have damaged valves or lifters or whatever the case might be. Certainly with all of these guys being broken, slap in half, that means valve contact. So surely the pistons are damaged, the valves are damaged. So I'm not even going to continue on here. I'm going to recommend an engine replacement, just for the sake of the cost of rebuilding an engine versus getting to use one with a good warranty on it. It just doesn't add up to rebuild this thing. But that's what we're looking at today. I figured I'd just touch on, I know we always think, oh well, if it failed on startup, then more than likely, there's no damage. Well, this customer assured me that she went inside, parked her vehicle, went inside, came back out, and turned the key, and it just wouldn't start. And so when that failure happens and the timing chain gets that slack in it, it doesn't take much. Even the power of the starter can surely cause damage. So this is what she's going to be looking at replacing an engine for. Alright guys, so I've always been a fan of Chevrolet vehicles, and that's proven to not be the case anymore. This here is the 2012 Chevy Equinox. This thing has 130,000 miles on it and is already experiencing timing chain failure, and I just really feel like that's not acceptable. I see so many of these, this little Ecotech 2.4 liter, whatever it is. I mean, it's a problem in itself that the engines really aren't lasting all that long. I've seen them, all of them before 200,000 miles pretty much seem to need a timing chain. Some people catch it before it's detrimental, others not so lucky. This person happens to be not so lucky. And I mean, it's bad enough that they have the issues in the first place, but when you got in a little car, it might be able to pull for a little bit longer and not be under so much stress, and you might get away with it for closer to 200,000. This vehicle only has 130,000 miles on it, and I feel like that they're attempting to put a pony in front of a Mack truck with this setup they got going on here. I mean, I don't know what the output ratings are on this motor, but it seems like it must be working awfully hard to move this thing around to be experiencing this kind of issues at 130,000 miles. And now this lady needs to replace her engine, and that is very much premature in my opinion. I see on these same things the transmission issues. I had someone come in with a blown up engine, and after we put the engine in, it turned out that her transmission was also having issues. And it's just, I'm not really satisfied with these vehicles. I still love my Chevy truck. You guys know my '08 Silverado. Had to put a transmission in it at 200,000, but you know that about Chevrolet trucks. It's just really kind of depressing. I mean, I was kind of hoping to get in here and put a timing chain on it and send her on her way, but I knew better. I told her better, and sure enough, we get in here and find all these broken lifters. I mean, every single one of these guys was broken except for one cylinder. All the exhaust side looks okay, but I mean, by the time you pull the head, replace valves, do machining if necessary, it really, in my experience, it's just cheaper to put a junkyard motor in it and put a timing chain on it when you do it, because God knows it needs one. So, kind of unnerved by this situation today.
Hard right. Gotta have Jack Daniels, always. Scott's over here cutting wood. This is our makeshift fire pit. Bacon and eggs and biscuits on this here fantabulous fire.
Alright guys, be sure and hit that like button if you like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see in the near future. Thanks. See ya.